Hi there. This slideshow is a summary about complying with the law to reclaim competitive fairness in the women's category of handicap golf competition in Scotland. At the end there are details of a more comprehensive YouTube video covering the law and other evidence. I'm not going to read each slide, I'm just going to summarise. So please pause the slides to read the detail at any time. My name's Pat Bowe. In 2023 I was captain of the Midland Division of the Scottish Senior Women's Golf Association. I've been an advocate for fair competition in the women's category of golf ever since, and I've only ever commented on competition. Women have the legal right to have a women's category of competition because of the protected characteristic of sex. This has been confirmed by the Supreme Court judgment. This was also confirmed in the judgment Haynes versus English Blackball Pool Federation on the 1st of August 2025, the first judgment to apply the Supreme Court's decision. Complying with the law and having unequivocal language will be sufficient to avoid misunderstandings and the unnecessary risk of defending a claim of discrimination. These terms might seem obvious, but it's important to get the legal eligibility criteria correct to protect fairness and comply with the law. So title your competitions women's competitions, and the eligibility to play must be included players whose sex recorded at birth was female. I've included a template in the next two slides to include all of the above, and to be able to comply with the law to avoid the risk of unnecessary challenge. This is my suggested template for a legal single-sex association, the scope and the objectives. The membership and competitions. Scratch, handicap, longest drive and nearest to pin competitions frequently run concurrently with a single 18-hole event. Longest drives and nearest to pin are single shots. This could be detrimental to women because they don't have the same single shot length as men. This is central to Scottish Golf's policy and why we have to clarify women's terms and conditions and our women's single-sex associations. Scottish Golf allow biological men to self-identify as female golfers, request a sex change to female on the WHS software, delete their WHS handicap index and their complete scoring record acquired from tees with the men's course and slope rating, which are rated using the performance data of men's sex category. Then play and acquire a new WHS handicap index as a female golfer from the tees with the women's course and slope ratings, which are rated using the performance data of the women's sex category. Then play as a female golfer in all handicap competitions including the mixed pairs. Their sex is changed on the central database of handicaps, which can no longer be relied upon to identify golfers who are born female. Although this is central to the policy, it's not explicit or transparent. The guidance on the process of transition has to be applied for separately. There has been no equality impact assessment to understand the potential adverse effect on the women's category or the risk of women turning away from competition. Scottish Golf's policy to allow biological men to play as female golfers has not been suspended, regardless of the following. Please pause the slide to read in detail, but I would draw your attention to the new category of female golfer could be unlawful in two ways. By including some biological men, whilst excluding other biological men, all within the same protected characteristic of sex, as well as by including biological men playing resulting in detrimental treatment of biological women. There could be a risk of adopting Scottish Golf's policy. There is no substantial difference between biological men who self-identify as female and biological men who identify as male. Transgender women, biological men, transition holistically with all of the benefits of male puberty, strength, stamina and physique, as defined in the Equality Act 2010. The legal advice on Scottish Golf's website was commissioned in 2012 by the Scottish Golf Union and the Scottish Ladies Golf Association before they merged in 2015 and became Scottish Golf. There's a video on how to find it on Scottish Golf's website at the end. Who would have predicted that by 2025 there would be no women's category of handicap competition? Scottish Golf and the R&A make great claims that they are doing so much to promote women and girls golf, but they never mention that they don't deliver fair handicap golf competition for women and girls. Sex is binary, and so is fairness. There is no such thing as tolerable unfairness. Choosing fairness for women is not discrimination or harassment. Women have the legal right to reclaim the women's category of handicap competition and women's single-sex associations. Here's how you'll find this summary video published on the 6th of September 2025. Just search for the name on YouTube. There's also a far more comprehensive YouTube video published on the 3rd of September 2025. Again, just search for the name on YouTube. You can share the YouTube search names as well as sharing directly on WhatsApp. It's full of details of the law and why women would be victims of detrimental treatment in the view of reasonable people playing against biological men whilst playing as female golfers in the most gender-affected sport. Before I go, I'm going to show you how to find the legal advice on Scottish Golf's website. Look out for questions 3, 4 and 5. They explain that women have the legal right to a women's category of competition and single-sex associations clarified by the Supreme Court judgment. So here we are on Scottish Golf's website. On the menu up here on the top left-hand corner, click that and go to Play Golf. Click that and go down to Women and Girls. Click on that and then scroll down until you find Women's Membership Advice Note. Click on that and then scroll down again until you come to Access to Tee Times and Competitions. If you here read the full advice note here, click on it and it'll take you to Equality Act 2010 Implications for Golf Clubs Across Scotland. It was commissioned in September 2012 by the Scottish Golf Union and the Scottish Ladies Golfing Association before they merged in 2015 and became Scottish Golf. And it's still on their website on the 6th of September 2025. Questions 3, 4 and 5 explain that women have, and have always had, the legal right to women's category of competitions and single-sex associations as clarified by the Supreme Court judgment on the 16th of April 2025, because the law hasn't changed. Who would have predicted that by 2025 there would be no women's category of handicap competition? I hope this has been helpful and women have the confidence to reclaim the women's category of fair handicap golf competition, as well as keeping your clubs, counties and associations legally safe from the unnecessary risk of challenges of discrimination. Please share this with anyone who might be interested. With my very best regards, Pat Bow. And as usual, thanks for taking the time.